grab more alcohol.
I got some Heineken's here.
Heineken's, bruh. All right, so we're live. All right, guys. Welcome back to another Last Call podcast. My name is MikeyT. Tristan was actually hit by a tornado, believe that or not. So he is not joining us. However, I do have two special guests here with me this week. One in studio, Mike Stewart. He is a local jiu-jitsu school owner, ace, master of all martial arts.
Untrue.
Challenge him if you like. And Kevin is also joining us via Google Hangouts, and he is also an owner of a local gym in Maryland. So thank you guys for joining. Let's talk about some crazy shit. You know we got to get into the fight stuff because I got two fight guys here, and I love talking about fighting anyway.
Yeah.
So
thanks for having me, by the way, bro. Appreciate that. I got some stuff for you, man. I brought some stuff for you.
Oh shit.
So
I don't usually bring gifts.
Yeah. I got you a rash guard.
Oh hell yeah.
I got extra large, but you might be a 2XL.
See, now I'm gonna have to get back into training here.
Here, I got you that.
So,
and
quick plug for Mike's gym.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's for you.
Good shit.
Hold on, I got some other stuff. I got some stickers.
We got all kinds of stuff.
Some stickers.
So how long have you been?
There's one more sticker for you.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Oh,
This is the first time I've been iced on my own damn show. Jesus Christ! I guess let's see if I can get this in camera, and then I guess
you don't have to. You don't have to do. We can just drink it. I mean, the rules are you're supposed to get on one knee and chug it, but
I follow the rules.
All right, well, I brought one just to share because I actually like Smirnoff Ice, but I'm just gonna enjoy watching you deal with all this carbonation for a second.
Cheers, folks.
Ugh. Bringing back horrible memories from 2004 through 6.
Ugh.
Hey, you took it out like a champ. I have more if you want one.
I'm okay. Thank you very much for the offer. I appreciate the stickers much more, though. Anyway, thanks again for joining us, guys. I know you both definitely have some good stories because I know just being somebody that likes to fight and is not afraid to get into it with people. I know, me coming from the bar industry, I see stuff a lot where people get that liquid courage in them.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they're, UFC champion or whatever. And then you guys coming from teaching the stuff, when you guys coming up, have people coming to you wanting to prove, they want to use you as that stepping stone. Like, oh yeah, man, I could have gone pro. Like I was going to fight.
Yeah. Kevin probably gets that a little bit more than me because Kevin's gym is right in Ocean City, Maryland, right next to Club H2O, the underage club, and like people just walk by constantly.
Yeah, Kevin, you got any good stories about having a club next to H2O?
I mean, we're on. If anybody's familiar with Ocean City, man, we're all the way downtown. The corner of Baltimore Avenue, Wacomico Street, Gracie, Ocean City. That's us. Stop by, say hello. Love visitors, man. Just the enthusiastic, brand new. I've been training for 4 weeks, white belt, who just wants to get some game on, and we're happy to have him in. To like the random black belt who's on vacation with his family, sees us and he's like, "Hey, I want to come train too," and that's awesome. But then we also get like the wannabe tough guys and rougher bars on our street right across the road from us. Alibi Room, which used to be Poorhouse, now Alibi Room, Cork Bar, and then right the next block down is the underage club H2O. So it's a mishmash of people coming down between drunk biker guys and underage want to be, 20-year-old kids who wrestled their sophomore year of high school and think they can take on a pro fighter. And people just come in and straight up call us out. Yeah, and it's constant. It's so constant that on one of my T-shirts, we just put the words "sign the waiver" because that's what we said. And they come in, they're like, "Yo, I want to fight. I can do this." Everybody stops training. They point the kid. Everybody, I have my guy's condition. They stop what they're doing. Everybody points to them. They go, "Sign the waiver, bitch." Usually a lot of ball tucking when it's like a choreographed reaction. Everybody's like, "Sign the waiver," and people are like, "Wait, what?" Like, I'll fight you right now. Sign the waiver. Get in the cage, and then they get in the cage. We never ever anybody. It's not about that, man. It's like if I went there and just wreck some kid, that would be just a dick move. You just make them regret wanting to be in there. Like you just grind them.
And I think that's the great thing about jiu-jitsu is it doesn't limit you to just smashing someone's face if they step up. Being a grappler, you can control them. And from what I've noticed from that in your gym, and I know in my gym too, when Mike and I were talking about this before, it rarely ends in animosity and then being pissed off and they never come back. It usually ends in some sort of mutual respect. I mean, hey, if you're going to come in and mix it up with an instructor, I have to respect you having some balls for that,
I can't think of anybody who's gone away angry. As a matter of fact, we give them all. We have a sheet. This is how organized. We have an entire sheet of stickers that says with our logo on. It says, "I signed the waiver at Gracie Ocean City." After we get done, we slap a sticker on their chest. We take a photo. We put it online. It's always happy smiles. They were like, "Oh man, I got it. I got my ass kicked at UFC, and all I got was this sticker." You know what I mean? And
that is fantastic advertising. That is genius.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we had to deal with it somehow. No one's ever left angry that I can think of. I can't think of anybody who's ever been what you get into? So usually we end up just doing jiu-jitsu with some guys like, "No, I'm a boxer. I'm from Baltimore. I box." I'm like, "All right, whatever. I'll box you then." And in fact, Mike's, I know he's seen the video. I actually usually spank them. I mean, no exaggeration. I actually I tap them in the face till they turn a little bit, and then I'll hold against the fence and I'll spank them. And when a grown-ass man holds you down and actually spanks you, it's
so just to clarify, I don't run my academy like that at all. Kevin is independent. I don't spank people or nothing like that. Kevin's gym it really is completely different environment because you got to think we're up here in Columbia and also Finksburg. Ocean City is a real transient place. People come and go. I mean, I lived down there for a summer, and I think that was actually before. What year did you open down there, Kevin? I think it was before you were open. This was 2005 or 6.
We opened in 1996. You were just ducking me because you're scared.
Yeah, well, I was.
You wouldn't sign the waiver.
I wouldn't sign the waiver. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been around for a long time, man. 96 is when we started.
No shit. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
I wouldn't think that would, especially that far back, you'd be able to survive, especially in Ocean City. That's
a
crazy.
Very great point. We wouldn't be able to survive. And matter of fact, even to this day, we would not survive if this was my career. I'm not unlike Mike, and it's also for Mike, it's good for him. I'm not a full-time martial arts instructor. The gym, it's my hobby. And matter of fact, I probably maybe lose a little bit of money running the place, but we have I think a full-size gym with a cage and bag area and a full weight training room, and it's a nice gym. I mean, especially we're downtown Ocean City, but it's not my job. That's not what I do for a living, and that's the gym just has paid its own way. And
so I don't have a real job. I play jiu-jitsu all day. That's all I do is play around in my pajamas barefoot all day and wrestle grown men in their pajamas and try to make them go to sleep.
It's a lot harder hustle than what I do full time.
Who wants to have a cuddle fight?
Dude, so in that post I made the other day, this pro MMA fighter who's this super heavyweight from Virginia is like, "I will come there and beat your art of hugging." It was such a good joke. I like had to laugh. It was so perfect.
Who was this?
So something Mikey and I were talking about was like the bullshit styles that are like, well, you know, my shit's too deadly. Well, you were like, oh, yeah. You commented. I made a post about thinking that most of Krav Maga that is taught in the United States is complete bullshit. So I made a post the other day, basically issuing a $5,000 challenge to any Krav Maga instructor that thought that they could come in and limited rule set, and no one did it. The only people that chose they were like, oh, I'll come do it, were pro fighters that could kick the shit out of me. And I'm like, dude, this bet is not open to you. Like, right. I know you guys do, like a couple jiu-jitsu brown and black belts. So like, I'll come do it. I'm like, yeah, I know you would, dude. If I issued the challenge to MMA fighters, wrestlers, pro boxers, pro Thai boxers, and jiu-jitsu guys, there would be a line out the door because those martial arts actually work, right, and are effective, and we believe in what we're doing. Not one Krav Maga dude bit except for one, and he was like, one dude was like, but what about multiple opponents? I was like, I tell you what, bro, bring your friend with you. And he said, well, what about weapons? I'm like, dude, I can't fight you with a knife, but I'll fight you with a stick and your friend if you come to the gym. And that guy was all lip service, man. And then he totally backed out. Jaw jacking the whole way. So we were talking about the lethal. What?
Him and a friend and a stick, and they backed down. That's
Kevin was in Facebook jail when all of this was going down. So he couldn't. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to resist. I know it. I just know it. And I get a lot of shit for people like, man, you stir so much shit up on the internet. But the issue is that there's still people out there that think that Kung Fu works. There really are, and they're going to make the mistake of putting their child in that program instead of a boxing program, or even like a local wrestling program is better than that, in my opinion. I know you did Muay Thai. That's a real martial art that actually can be, if it can't be practiced at full force, full speed in practice and training, how do you know that is going to work for you in real life? That's just the big problem I have with styles like these Krav Maga guys. Everything's very scripted and it's perfect circumstances. You know, it's like if you had to beat up a person that you could freeze blast like Sub-Zero and just work your magic around them, then yeah, it seems great. But the reality is people are going to resist. They're going to try and push, pull, run. Different variables are going to happen. You need to test your art at full speed. Well, that's what's it. I always love when you share that stuff on Facebook, where it's all the bullshit. Like Krav Maga is one that's like semi-legit. It's like based off. It's better. I will say that it's based better off of reality. It's just not. Well, it's based off jiu-jitsu. A lot of it's they take pieces of each style. And you got to look out for places like, well, we do just a little bit of everything. You know, we do a little Kung Fu, we do a little karate, we do a little Thai boxing, we do a little jiu-jitsu. Well, I mean, the only way you get good at something is by doing a lot of it. Jack of all trades, master of none. It's not the way to roll, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Well, so the thing with Krav Maga is like the original basis for it makes sense. You know, like stop your opponent any means necessary. Yeah, as fast as possible. But when you dilute that down so that you can teach it to soccer moms in Colombia, it's not the same. And you can't tell me. So if you went to and learned Israeli martial arts from somebody that's actually learned it, that would be different than taking Krav Maga. However, I have a friend, several friends. Because where I live around like Reisterstown, Pikesville, there's a very, very big Jewish community. So I have a lot of Jewish friends and they're all like, Krav Maga, bro. And I'm like, these guys have gone to Israel and trained with like the masters of Krav Maga. And they come back and I'm like, okay, now try jiu-jitsu. And they think that their shit's going to be lethal. Like, man, I can't fight you, Mike. Like, I'm sorry. Because I like you. I don't want to have to like break your spine. I'm like, what I'm saying is you could do all that shit. If you try and poke me in the eye or break my finger or bite me or try and like squeeze my neck, come on, dude. Like you've been doing Krav Maga for 1.5 years, and all of the years of grappling and MMA and jiu-jitsu I put in all of a sudden mean nothing. Don't forget that you can poke me in the eye, but I can also poke you in the eye. Right. You can bite me and I can bite you. You can kick in the nuts, I can kick in the nuts. So once you can bring a knife, I can bring a knife. I can bring a gun, you can bring a gun. You know, that's so what if I'm matching you for dirtiness and tactics? That's not a style, it's just tactics. But speaking of registered deadly hands, like dudes that hands are like too lethal, and they're so dangerous. The only person in the whole world that I've actually ever met that can produce the actual documentation that has registered lethal hands is Kevin. Talk about that.
Yeah. So and since grade school, I think we've all heard the story of, you know, my brother does this and his hands are registered lethal weapons, or you know, my uncle was a Navy SEAL and you know, he had to register his hands as deadly weapons. To a new town, the first thing he has to do is go to the police department and get fingerprinted because his hands are registered lethal weapons. And like, that made no sense to me. I was like, wait, you have to get fingerprinted? So it's like, look at this, Officer Smith, another dead body. We should fingerprint it and see if we can figure out who killed him. Like, I was like, why would like you take fingerprints from me punching them? And so I always called bullshit on that. Even as a kid, it didn't make any sense. But I still has perpetuated forever. Mike definitely can remember there was some who has some Taekwondo school up in York. Do you remember that kid's name, Mike?
Yes, I do remember his name. I'm not going to say his name publicly because, in my opinion, he has deep-seated psychological issues, and like, I don't want him coming to my academy with a fucking machine gun or anything like that. That kid's fucking crazy, bro. He's off his goddamn rocker. I know exactly who you're talking about, though.
This kid in particular is the most recent one. I've seen several people who've done this, but this kid was telling me that his hands were registered deadly weapons and all this other stuff. And he had this school, Pennsylvania, whatever, and he's like, there was some other thread, and again, Facebook drama. Somebody talking about being deadly or whatever like that. I was like, dude, you're it was some sort of random parking lot fight, and these other kids were talking about how deadly this one kid is because he's a third-degree black belt, and he was like god awful terrible. I mean, so
I saw that video. It was a video, right?
Right, that's how this happened. So this kid in the video, and he's a third-degree black belt at this one school, and of course, like, I can't help myself. I'm an asshole. I had to jump in there, like, completely laugh at this kid about how terrible he was. Instructor was like that Asian kid. He's like, I'm a deadly weapon, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, waiting for it. I was like, bullshit, you're not a deadly weapon. He's like, yes, I am. I had to go.
This is actually a different dude than what I'm thinking of. This is a different. I'm thinking of someone completely different who claims the same shit. The kid promoted himself to purple belt in jiu-jitsu because he won a good fight. He won a good fight tournament. And
I know that guy. I know that guy. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
right. God, we gotta like create like a roadmap of all the different bullshit guys. And you guys confusing.
Everyone knows who they are. Everyone knows who's legit, and everyone knows who's not.
So right, but now you remember what I'm talking about. You were like, it's the guy who's in whatever Hanover.
He said he had to spare you. Like he couldn't kick your ass because like he was too lethal.
He's like, I have a school up in Pennsylvania. He's like, stuff on my school you can find any time. I was like, cool. I was like, I'm not sure. I was like, I might be up there later on. He's like, well, let me know because I'm on the vacation at the beach right now. It's like, you're at the beach? Where? He's like, yeah, I'm going to see. That's where I go on vacation. I'm like, oh my God. Where are you staying? He's like, nice. I'm like, my gym is like 8 blocks from you, dude. Like, come to my gym. Like, I got a cage. I got waivers. Like, I will fight you like in 1 hour. And he's just like a million excuses. I was like, you said you beat my ass anytime. Like there's multiple places here in this thread. You like, come to my school. We'll fight. Like, you were literally like a few blocks from my gym. Like, I've got a full cage, waivers, everything. Let's do it, dude. Like, you can completely beat my ass. And of course, epic dick talk, whatever. But the whole thing got me back to the deadly hands thing. This guy kept saying his hands were registered deadly weapons. And he claimed he went to the York County courthouse and he filled out some paperwork and had to go before the judge, and he like break boards in front of the judge, and they broke like a concrete brick in the courtroom in front of the judge. So like the judge certified him as being a deadly weapon, issued him some documentation, and I was like, you lying motherfucker. I was like, nobody believes this. I don't believe it. I'm calling you bullshit. Like, where's your documentation? Like, show me online or anywhere that I can look up, like, the York County Courthouse paperwork to fill out to apply to go in front of this judge, and like this actual like state representative legal ass judge in a York County Courthouse and break boards and get registered as a deadly weapon by York County, Pennsylvania. I was like, that's some bullshit, dude. It doesn't exist. And he wouldn't back off until I posted and I showed him my actual Deadly Hands registration, because prior to all this,
you didn't tell us about that at all, like how you got it.
This is why I've had it, is because of assholes like this who claim it. So keep hearing this stuff. So I spent more time than I should have trying to figure out how I can register my hands as deadly weapons. I mean, I'm Googling stuff and couldn't find anything. There is not a county, a city, a state, a municipality, anywhere within the continental United States that will register your hands as deadly weapons. I have done exhaustive research in this matter. I mean, like, I could have got a lot of things done. Anyhow, the only place in the United States of America you can register your hands as deadly weapons is the absolute remote territory of Guam. Your hands as a deadly weapon. So I then started contacting Guam, which I found the forms, but I didn't know where to send them. And, you know, I found there was forms. I didn't know how to get the actual forms. So started making phone calls to Guam, which it's the other side of the planet. I'm making phone calls like 2 in the morning. I'm getting calls back at 4 in the morning. Well, it's like, who's calling? I'm like, it's a lady in Guam. She's like, who did you play? What? I'm like, just, I got these call. It's a lady in like the about registering my hands as deadly weapons. My wife's just like, you're crazy, but whatever. So it took a while. Then they finally figured out there was paperwork, but nobody knew who to talk to. And again, after more back and forth with Guam, they got me the forms. I filled them out, sent them back to Guam. They processed it, sent me back official real deal documentation that I am certified by both hands and feet, and I'm considered an expert in both judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai by the territory of Guam. Spin around. Let me know. Can you see that? Can you read it? Maybe
leave it on there for a second and then talk.
That's my documentation that came back from Guam. It is now framed and hanging in the gym. Just for he's like, I'm a deadly weapon. I'm like,
you're the only one, dude. I've been doing martial arts since forever, and you're the only dude. Like you said, everyone says it. You're the only one I've ever seen it. Say something again so we can see it.
Right? Can you see it? We're there. So that's my Guam Deadly Hands doc. And I mean, it's complete horseshit. I mean, it doesn't.
I mean, Guam is the registered governing body on lethal.
Right, I mean, it's not like I had to fight a bomb and kill him with my bare hands or anything to get certified. I did some paperwork and they like process. They're like, all right, you're a deadly weapon. Legally in Guam, if you actually have legally by their territory laws, actually have to get the certification. So, you know, just inside of vacation in Guam, I'm already ahead of like my paperwork. So I guess that's
now.
Good.
Now I will say this: after doing extensive research on actual law, when it comes to self-defense, because especially if you're going to teach people, you have to know like what you can do and what you can't do. Especially, I know like you, the same as me, have taught like a lot of police officers. You want to get familiar with their use of force laws, continuums, and also like you got to know what the law is. So, for example, someone like even you, bro, because you train Muay Thai. If they had an attorney that could prove that you used your training to injure somebody and it wasn't self-defense and it was just a malicious act, then that can be considered lethal force. So like if I'm a professional boxer and I get into a street brawl and I fuck somebody up and break their jaw in half, that can be used against me in court because it's considered lethal force. Same if you pull a knife on somebody or something like that. But it would be hard to prove.
What if you're certified?
Well,
if you're certified by Guam, then I mean it's open and shut.
Any DA is Guam Island territorial records that I'm like, look, man,
Kevin, this might work against you in the future. That guy killed me. He killed my son in the cage as he was leaving H2O. Look at they'll screenshot your certification and be like, yeah, man, he was a registered deadly weapon. He should have known better.
Right. Yeah. In Guam.
All over again.
Uh-huh.
I hear that all the time because my wife, one, she's a worrier, and then two, she's a lawyer. And she worries because of how I am and how little tolerance I have for stupid people. That she's not worried that I'm going to hurt someone. She's worried I'm going to hurt someone and then they're going to sue us. And it's a valid claim, especially in today's society.
Well, we live in a very litigious society that's
absolutely
that you sneeze on somebody wrong and they're going to fucking sue you. So, you know, that's why as gym owners, we have to create a community sense where it's like no one's trying to hurt each other and like rough each other up too badly. But you do got to be careful, man. I mean, honestly, there have been many situations in my life where I see somebody doing something very disrespectful to another person, usually. And I'm like, man, you know what? Someone should knock that guy out. You know, that's really what should happen. That's really the swiftest form of justice that could happen. If we went back to like the law of the jungle, you know, you fuck with my friend or family, I'm going to just knock you out. And I mean, you wouldn't see as much of the running of the mouths and people posturing and acting so tough because people would do what's right instantly. Street justice is the swiftest form of justice. There's no jury, there's no, and then people learn their lesson quickly from that. You know, I mean, I had to learn that lesson growing up, you know, but today's youth, man, I see these kids like sometimes, well, Kevin, the last time we were down in Ocean City, I'm walking back from the store and these 4 kids start talking shit to me and my cousin. And I'm like, dude, if this was like back in like 1998, 1999, like you already been like knocked out, bro. Like it wouldn't even have been a thing.
Not even.
It's like, what did like the kid? I had 2 handles full of beer. Whereas my brother's bachelor party, walking back, this kid's like, yo, I'm gonna knock this boy out and take his beer. I'm like, you're not gonna do that, bro. You're not gonna do that. I was like, if you get close to me, you're gonna get knocked out. But then I'm thinking, like, oh, if I fuck this kid up, like OCPD is gonna be there like that, and dude, they don't care. Like those guys are very poorly trained.
So you want to hear my confession from this past weekend? Mike?
Say that again?
You want to hear my confession from this past weekend? Hear me?
Said confession?
Yeah, I got a confession for
oh God.
What
do you want to hear this?
Yeah, it's along the same lines of what you said about the guy on the street giving you some shit. So I'm at Penn State this past weekend. I was up there for the Bellator event and a couple buddies fighting on the card.
So by the way, Kevin's hanging out at Bellator with Hoist Gracie and Randy Couture during this shit. Well, I don't know about during this shit, but
super excited to see Don Fry again. So I'm hanging out late night at the in State College. That's where I went to school. I know that town. That's my home. Go to this late night pizza place called Canyon Pizza, and I get my pizza. I'm out, waiting for my teammates. They're inside getting their pizza. This dude comes out. He's like, "I'll beat anybody's ass here." Anybody's ass.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with people, dude?
So I'm standing there now. I might have been slightly intoxicated. I'm your Huckleberry. And he's like, you don't want none of this. I train with Renzo Gracie. Renzo Gracie. I was like, no, you don't. How do you know? Like, what do you? I train with Renzo Gracie. I'm like, well, I train with Royce Gracie. So how about that?
I train with Relson.
Relson, right. So I was like, man, you don't train with Renzo Gracie. He's like, well, yeah, I do. I train with him with the local gym, one to Renzo. I was like, first off, I was like, there's no one named Renzo. Second of all, I know what gym you're talking about. They're not affiliated with Renzo. They used to be. They're not anymore. You clearly never met the man or trained with him, and you're not affiliated with him. Like, you're nobody, dude. And this guy, like, would not back down off of it. And, like, he wanted to go. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, are you really kidding me right now? And So I got a full pizza. I handed it to one of my buddy, and I handed my cell phone. He looked at me. He's like, I was like, I promise. I'm gonna just choke him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
He got guillotined in less than 2 seconds.
I always say that the guillotine is the best street move for standing.
Dude, I guillotined this kid so fast. He's tapping done, and I swear to God, like police cruisers pull into the alley like instantly. I was like, oh shit. So like, I got this kid in a guillotine. The cop's like, what are you doing? I was like,
teaching him a quick lesson.
You cut out a little bit.
Oh, we might have lost him.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Here, I'll text him.
So I definitely understand that, because anytime I see somebody running their mouth like that, and it just bugs the hell out of me.
Well, we call it the 60-second black belt. Like
I like that.
Like they get drunk and they're like, I'll just they're like, for that moment where they are in this enraged emotional state, they think that they are a freaking black belt. That's a 60. We call it the 60-second black belt.
I need to write that down, because I think that's going to be the name of the episode.
Yeah. Hold on.
But yeah, it's I don't, and I think with the rise in popularity of MMA and everything, everybody's slowly becoming an expert. They did a class on the weekend, or they've taken Krav Maga, or they did Kim's karate back in the 90s.
And that's the problem. Like, we refuse. People are always like, well, you should do punch cards, or you should do like just clinics, and and those things are all fine and good, but you have to understand that you are not going to be able to defend yourself by taking one seminar.
This shot of Fireball is dedicated to Tristan and his tornado. By the way, he didn't actually get hit by a tornado. His town did, and he's without power.
Dude, so when you said that to me, you made it sound like that happened around here. And I'm like, Mike's full of shit. There's no tornadoes.
Yeah, he's in Ohio now.
Okay,
so
my bad.
That's where that happened.
That's where my wife's from.
Super exciting up there, it sounds like.
I'll do a shot for your buddy too. It couldn't hurt.
Fireball somehow became.
Never met you, Tristan. You seem cool though.
Yeah, somehow Fireball became the shot of the podcast. But
I haven't had a shot of a Fireball since Nam.
That's weird. It replaced Kevin's photo with a picture of a fighter pilot.
Well, he is a fighter pilot, or he was, or he is some sort of pilot. So who knows what that is? Is he trying to reconnect? Maybe.
If he goes through the link again, he should be able to join in. So he could join in anytime. But sorry, I interrupted you for that shot. I forget where you.
I don't even know what I was talking about. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Alcohol
stories.
Yeah. No, but basically, I mean, you asked me a question on one of, I think he's back. Kevin.
I'm back. My phone died. Sorry about that.
He's back. And it's actually good that you're back for this too, because maybe you can give us some insight too. You asked me the other day, why do all these posts turning into a pissing contest? And
because for people who don't know, like most of the people that know me know that I love to just poke the bear on Facebook, and you absolutely do it too. But then your network of people through just the jiu-jitsu community and networking for your gym and everything is huge. So the number of people you have interacting on your posts is so much higher, and you're just bound to have more stupid motherfuckers. And
it's just like anything. If the town gets bigger, there's going to be more town idiots.
Yeah.
You both are horrible people.
Oh. And there's always
speaking of town idiots.
It's crazy. I always notice that. Like, no matter what you post, usually you're posting like
positive.
Yeah, like you're talking about how jiu-jitsu works and how you support it and believe in everything about it. And then every once in a while you'll have the ones where it's like you're poking fun at like another martial art or somebody else that ran their mouth first or whatever. And there's just always, like, it doesn't matter what the topic is, there's somebody in there like whipping their dick out like, oh, you want to see how far I can piss? This is fucking awesome. I'm so fucking cool.
Well, there's a real easy way to settle it. I mean, we have a gym, come in and
sign the
waiver and scrap and see how you do. I mean, any person that's ever been able to come to the gym and beat me works for me now. Because it's like, dude, you have a depth of knowledge that I obviously have not tapped into yet. And
is that why you have so many employees?
What's that? 700.
We have so many employees.
It is true. We do have a lot of employees. But
that's why I had to open another gym. Too many instructors.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of true though. Like, it is kind of true, because if someone comes in and even if they can't beat me, I see, like, you know, good qualities in them where they are good at something. They're good at marketing. They're good at even if you're just good at teaching, they might know something more about teaching strategies than I do and know nothing about martial arts. I want to be connected with that person. And we tend to fit this pattern where if somebody's better than us at something, we get jealous. And I think what jiu-jitsu teaches you is that if someone's better than you at something, you should befriend them and you should respect them. And you know, it kind of is messed up because I think that it is just a survival instinct. It's not even like you're consciously doing it. You just get into a habit of, this person has information that I want and need that's going to help my family and friends do better. So why be a dick to that person? It makes no sense. And people get so closed off. And the biggest thing you can do to insult someone's masculinity is tell them they can't fight. Yeah. Tell them they can't fight. Tell them they are not slick with women, and tell them that they're like just losers, but mainly fighting. Like, if you tell, hey bro, I've said this before and been like, why are you talking shit, dude? You can't fight. Like, what? You have no idea. There's a really good video. Look at Ryan Hall, who's close to here. He's in a altercation in some restaurant, and there's some dude, like, what's it's like section 9 or something when you get kicked out of the military because you're crazy. He's like, I'm section 9, motherfucker. You don't know what I'm capable of. I'll eat your face off. And Ryan Hall is just sitting there eating his like perfectly calm, and he's like, so like, you're gonna attack me? This is like what you're saying? Yeah, man. Like, I'm gonna, dude, like, very calmly double legs the dude to the ground, gets on his back, choke. I mean, the dude gives up, and then the dude is like being cool, and then again, liquid courage, the 60-second black belt. He rages out again. Ryan Hall chokes him out in the parking lot. Just look up Ryan Hall street fight on YouTube, and it's great. Like, it's one of the most best examples of how, and he's smaller than the guy too. I mean, Ryan Hall is not a big guy. He's in the UFC now. What's he fight at? Like 155 or something. He's not like a big imposing dude. He looks like just like a normal guy, you know, but he has cauliflower ears, so don't be retarded and fucking pay attention. And the main thing is, just don't get into fights. Like, I think it's pretty easy to avoid if you're just a decent human being and you're respectful to people. It's pretty easy when someone's, oh, I got to fight. I got no fight. You got to wonder what's triggering that. What's going on? Why you're always getting into fights. And it's just us wanting to test our abilities against other people. But why not just go to a boxing gym, bro, and test your ability there? Go sign up for a wrestling clinic or a tournament, or sign up at a judo school. Take jiu-jitsu, go to a Thai boxing school, see what you're made of in there. And then you're going to realize that you ain't shit, and you're going to avoid getting into fights because you're going to be like, okay, I'm vulnerable a lot more than I thought I was. And I'm not really trying to get, and you get into enough street fights, you get your back scratched up enough, chipped teeth, busted shit in your face, broken hands, you realize it's better to just be nice to people. And if someone really wants to bring it, then you defend yourself, of course. But I think the dick measuring happens because nothing insults somebody's masculinity, and nothing, even not even masculinity, like in that sense, but even like telling a female she can't protect her children, you know, nothing insults a human being more than telling them like you're incapable of protecting yourself and your family. That makes us very insecure. But in reality, you're probably not. So you should do something, you know? And people will be like, they'll use an example like you. Well, he doesn't train. You're also not 6'3", lift weights all the time. That's not you, you know? Well, this guy could do, but that's not you, bro. You're lazy, you don't train, you should probably do something. Or just avoid human contact and pray that no one ever attacks you.
Man, if I could avoid human contact, that'd be fantastic. Oddly, I don't know why I picked like the most forward, like all I do is talk to people all day. Like that's my job, bartending and everything. If I could not talk to people, it would be fantastic.
Well, it's your job has made you like that. You know, we all want to be social when we're in school and shit like that. We want to be popular. We want to have a lot of friends. We want to talk to people. And when you finally, you know, like reach social maturity and you have high emotional intelligence, you can make a lot of friends. And then it's interesting because all you want to do is at that point be by yourself.
You're like, I have enough friends.
Yeah. I've
hit that limit.
And as you get older, you have enough people betray you and not really be there for you when you need them, and you're there for them. And it's like the trade-off imbalance. You're always calling them. They're never calling you. It's one-ended. And then eventually, it's like when I was growing up, I'd be like, why does my dad only have like 3 friends? Like he must be like an asshole or something. And then like as I get older, I'm like, man, I get it now. Like, and he told me, he's like, man, you're only going to have a handful of friends when you get older. No way, man. No way. Like I have like so many friends, you know, like I can never imagine not hanging out with all these people. And then it's like a couple years go out and you hang out with this many. It just
starts dwindling.
And then it's like your good friends. You're like, okay, dude, like we need to like go do something. Like, especially you have a kid now, right? Like you have kids and stuff. It's like, you actually have to actively work on your friendships.
That's how this podcast started.
Yeah. You need that. Guys need and girls need. You need your time away with your friends, bro. Like that time is very valuable. Time to yourself. Like be selfish with your time. If you're doing things that are making you happier and it's personal self-development, you're a better version of yourself. Therefore, you can be a better. We hear this all. How many times do you hear Kevin, like guys, like, oh man, my girlfriend wants me to spend more time with her?
All the time.
It's like, dude, are you kidding me? Your girlfriend hates you probably, bro. She doesn't care about your personal self-development. And that's very selfish. And your girlfriend, you need to be cool with her going and, you know, even if maybe she's studying martial arts and you're the dude that doesn't do it and you're jealous because she's going and rolling with the dudes and like fighting with the dudes. I mean, you're a bitch if like you're jealous of your girlfriend or your wife going and training martial arts. You should want them to be strong and capable of protecting themselves and your children and that sort of thing. Like I want my wife to be like a freaking Brazilian, Dominican, Amazonian like killer, bro. Like if anyone ever tries to fuck with my kids, I want her to be able to kill them. Which she's, you know, she is, man. And you should want that for your husband too. You should want that for your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, whatever, you know, like you should want the person to be.
Let me ask you guys something. So I think the trend, like the whole alpha male trend has sort of been demonized. So it's almost like
toxic masculinity.
Yeah, right. Toxic masculinity. It's like it's bad to be, you know, a stereotypical male now. And it makes me wonder, like, how did that happen? Like, why is it bad to be? I understand if you take it to the extreme and somebody's like walking around doing the whole like fucking I got my suitcases, like fucking walking around looking like you're gonna fight,
carrying imaginary watermelons.
Yeah, like that's different. But why is it bad to be?
I think it's because people hate what they can't be. You know, everybody wants to be that bad guy, that awesome alpha male, but it's this society of instant gratification. Like I want to be this now. I got to have this now. And to our horns, where Mike and I have gone just in the world of martial arts, like can't do that overnight. You can go get your black belt in Taekwondo in like 2 years, but like Mike and I aren't even black belts in jiu-jitsu. We've been doing this for like over a decade. I've been jiu-jitsu since strictly. I've been on the mat for 25 years.
You've been training longer than me. I've been studying jiu-jitsu for 8 or 9 years.
5 years of mat time total. Strictly jiu-jitsu. My first jiu-jitsu class with Grandmaster Elliot Gracie was in 2002. And neither of us are still black belts, and we're still way far ahead of like most everybody else. Like, you can't get outside of jiu-jitsu in anything you do, like in any what I consider manly awesome activities, to be at that high level where people consider you to be a badass in whatever it is you do. Like, you don't get there quick, and today, like, they won't put that time in to get good at it, so they're just going to hate on people who have put that time in.
That's actually a great point, and you can apply that to almost anything where it's nobody wants to put the work in
everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Yeah,
it's deep. So
Bob Marley, I didn't come up with that.
Thanks, Bob. But it's like, everybody wants to be the alpha male, but then as soon as they realize they can't, then it's like it's easier to knock down that image than it is for them to get there. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So
it's interesting because I talked with one of my best friends the other night who is super successful. I mean, like, his house is like a palace, bro. Like, it's like crazy how much success he's had at such a young age. And he has people like wanting him to fail. And it's like superiority in whether it's business, looks, athleticism, fighting, you're always gonna have jealous people. Like, this is old as time. Mike's the caveman. He's bigger, stronger, killing the bigger woolly mammoths, celebrated by the tribe. All the women love him, and he has that loyalty. So as someone that might be more beta, they're looking to like wait for you to fail, capitalize on your slip ups and failures. Anything you say that could be misconstrued the wrong way. Here's the thing, like, who are the people that are being attacked for their masculinity and people that are being attacked for their success? It's people that are up at the top. Everyone can see them, right? No one talks shit about the people down here because we all know they're fuck ups, It's not juicy. And we build idols to break them down, We love to see these athletes like blah, 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 but then they call someone a name or something like that, and it's like, demonize this man, fuck this guy, We build up these athletes, we build up these idols to break them down. It's like our pattern, So you just got to stay true to what you do and understand that's part of the process and not give a fuck, in my opinion.
I can agree with that.
I think the sooner you learn not to give a fuck, the happier you'll be.
Yeah. And it's really
I specialize in that.
There's a really good book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Everyone should read it.
Why have I not read that?
Yeah, it's
I
good.
probably wrote it and didn't realize it.
Yeah, I mean, and when I get shit for starting these uncomfortable discussions online, and like, I am attacking other martial arts. Like, I made a live video the other day. I'm starting to do these bigger consultations for schools that are teaching only martial arts I believe in, because I don't care about you karate. When I say karate, you have to understand, I'm not talking about like the Kyokushin guys or the Enshin guys. Have you ever sparred with a Kyokushin guy, Kevin?
No, I haven't.
Dude, they're legit. That's like the one karate.
Yeah,
they kick so
I've never
fucking
seen
hard,
anything
bro.
that looks sketchy.
Huh?
I've heard a bad thing about them.
Yeah,
that seems pretty. I don't know any. I've never been anywhere that trains it. I've never met anybody who's done it, but the thing I've seen is just online competitions, and it's pretty much full contact, no gloves. You just can't hit in the face. You can't punch in the face.
You can't punch in the face. You can kick in the face. So it's basically it's full. You can't leg kick either. They can kick each other in the body as hard as they want. They can kick each other in the head as hard as they want. They can punch each other in the body as hard as they want. They can't punch in the face and they can't kick to the leg. So it's like Muay Thai with limited rules. It's full contact though.
No gloves, right?
These are martial arts I believe in because you were testing. I'm telling you, bro. I got kicked in the ribs by this Kyokushin guy when I was doing MMA. I've never fucking been kicked that hard before in my life, man. Like it was crippling.
Where did you find a Kyokushin guy?
So there's Tony Waldecker, who teaches our he basically runs like our adult program, like the main camp in Finksburg. He's connected to a bunch of Kyokushin guys. I actually bought mats off the dude online. Yeah. That's how I met him, and then made the connection, and we ended up training together a little bit. And he was giving me some striking rounds. And dude, I mean, he was tuning me up, standing up, bro. Like I couldn't get close to him. To strike him. His distance management with his kicks to my body were just too strong, but it was like destroying me. Once we started grappling, I mean, you know, it's game over. But if he had started doing jiu-jitsu and got his purple belt, he'd beat me in a fight.
No kidding.
Is that the same karate that the Machida?
No, Machida is not Kyokushin. I think they're more of like a Shotokan style.
You might be right. But you know, here's the thing, man, I've even met Taekwondo guys, and I usually rag on Taekwondo. I've met quite a few Taekwondo guys who have legit striking. Legit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, there's still plenty of dudes out there in Taekwondo who kick my head off my shoulders.
Well, look at your dude out there, Mike. I mean, he's a tough guy.
Like super tough guy. You know what I mean? Like he just fought in Bellator. He's one of quite a few legit Taekwondo guys. Now,
also a brown belt
in jiu-jitsu. But then there's another local Taekwondo gym that Mike and I both like have less than zero respect for, because they claim to be Taekwondo and they're like nothing more than a kid's care. Like it's with a martial arts theme, and they're garbage. Like everybody in there is complete garbage. And I
tell a lot of parents, you know, I'm like, why don't you put your kid in gymnastics, man? It's the same shit that they're learning here, and it's a quarter of the price, and it's actually more beneficial because it's more physically strenuous. Like I put my kids in gymnastics alongside of jiu-jitsu, and I'm not a big. I know you're a big sports guy. I'm not a big sports guy, but my kids need to do one sport where they're running. Because you don't really get that in jiu-jitsu. You don't really, you know what I mean? I like the team. I like them to be in the team element. You gain different things. I think a lot of people get a twist where like, only do jiu-jitsu. Man, I do so much other shit. Dude, I go fishing all the time. You know, I like my kids getting into gymnastics. They're playing soccer right now. We're eventually going to explore lacrosse. The one thing, bro, the one thing I will say, though, is, and I'm going to upset some people with this, and some of my close family, too, is that it's painful sitting through baseball games with little kids because there's so little action, man. They're either spacing out on the field or they're spacing out behind the dugout and dicking around. And I think that some of that social interaction is very good.
That's just like real baseball.
I can't do it, man.
Think about
it. But they don't fear at little kids' games. That's the problem.
I just think that time could be spent better.
Any professional sport where you can like chew gum and dip while you play or drink while you play. I don't know. I'm not discounting the amount of skill it takes to hit. Like
they say that's the hardest actual thing to do in any sport is hit a fastball in baseball, and I believe it.
I can agree with that, but
statistically, it's the hardest thing to do in any sport. That's what I've been told, at least. I could be wrong.
I'd like to see. I think it's just familiarity. So, I think you put professional athletes in different sports, and they'll be able to do it to a degree.
If you put LeBron James and you train him in MMA for 2 years, he'd be killing it on the pro circuit, bro. He's an athlete.
Yeah,
he'd be killing it. You took a Terrell Suggs in his prime and you put him in an MMA program, he could be in the UFC.
Although that is one thing I did want to ask you guys. We'll try to wrap it up here in a little bit, but so I feel that training can only get you so far. So you have to have that mentality of a fighter. So
Yes.
you see people that have all the training in the world, like you get them on the mat, they're great, but if they're in a street fight, they don't know what to do because you have to be willing to get in there and just get in the shit.
Yeah, you're gonna take damage.
And I think that's something you can't necessarily train. So that's where you end up with guys like you said with Taekwondo. They're fighters at heart, and they just happen to get into Taekwondo. So and I think that happens in any of the martial arts. So you end up with these guys that are
there are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts that can't fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Simply put,
you see
multiple degree Brazilian.
You used to see it a lot, like early on, because they get clipped, and then it's a whole different game
because they never train punch protection.
Yeah, or
all they do is grapple. All they do is shake hands, bump fists. We start to roll. Punches are never talked about, never introduced. That's not real Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. True Jiu-Jitsu, you're training with strikes, punches. You're taking into account headbutts. There could be more than one people, and it has to be, it has to be very, very calculated. But yeah, we call those guys dojo warriors or gym warriors because they can beat everyone in the gym, but then you put them in a fight or in a tournament, and they crack. They're mentally not prepared. And Kevin could probably talk about that a little bit more than me because I don't really focus on. I stopped focusing on MMA fighters because they are a colossal pain in the ass. Not all of them, but for the most part, the people that come in and they want to fight, they're a colossal pain in the ass. They're dirty. They're late. They're late with their tuition. They're selfish. They try and hurt everyone in the gym. There's literally like no plus sides to it other than the glory of I made a tough guy and he won some local promotion that everyone's going to forget about in 2 months anyway.
That's so completely spot on.
Yeah. Well, I think the guys that fight in Shogun are legit. And these guys.
To be fair, I haven't watched in like probably. What are they at now? I don't even know.
I don't know. It's definitely.
I watched like the first 3. And I was like,
yeah. All those guys are every single. Well, 99% of the people that fight in those promotions are legitimate tough dudes. They come from real gyms. You have to understand that, like, gym owners like Kevin and I, we're not out to bust the balls of anyone that's doing everything right and that's doing everything legit. We're just out there to poke holes in the systems and to expose them to the public that this is maybe not the best option for self-defense or fitness or confidence building. And that's really the 3 major reasons that people join a martial art is they want to learn how to protect themselves a little bit better is the number 1 reason why people start a martial art. Then they start doing jiu-jitsu and they could train for 3-4 years or 3-4 months and never learn how to get out of a headlock or never learn how to block a punch from standing or on the ground. And then they get into a fight and it falls apart on them. And they're like, jiu-jitsu is bullshit, And it's a shame because, you need to start with the most common things first. What are the most common things that happen in a fight? Someone's going to rush you. Someone's going to punch you. Someone's going to headlock you, bear hug you. When they get you on the ground, what's the first thing they're going to do if they're on top of you? They're going to punch you. So if you're not used to that sort of tension and that, which we call pressure testing or stress inoculation. And we have a fight lab class once a week where everyone wears the gloves and we put them in these uncomfortable positions, like get out of the mount while you're being punched. Like, bro, you can't stay here. You can't stay here. You can't. And we're not hurting them, but we're just, okay, you died, bro. You just lost. You just lost that fight. If
these were real shots,
you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start again. Now do this. Okay, now let's start from the guard. Every jiu-jitsu guy thinks their guard is unstoppable. I mean, you start introducing headbutts, elbows, a broken piece of glass or a fucking stick or something like that. You're getting smashed with that. You can see people's jiu-jitsu.
God had me ready for this.
Yeah, you got to pressure test it. Uh-oh. What book?
So, one thing we usually do at the end of the show is would you rather?
Oh Christ!
So I hope
He's
you're,
got it right here.
I hope you're ready for this. I had one out already, but
This is gonna be painful.
so this is the Would You Rather Twisted Sick and Wrong edition.
Oh my god.
So we always get some good shit out of this.
Hey, for all the parents at the academy, don't let your kids watch this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not safe for work. I will say that much. I have not screened these. They could be bad. Prepare yourselves.
Whew.
So I will ask you both, and we will discuss these. Would you rather have to give yourself 15 stitches with a regular sewing needle, or have to pull your own tooth with a regular pair of pliers?
Stitches.
Oh, stitches. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
stitches.
I swear to God, I once saw a guy pull his own tooth with a regular pair of pliers. Blew my mind.
Ugh.
I saw him
In person?
blew my that Italian immigrant guy didn't have health care. His tooth was turned. I swear to God, I saw this with my eyes, and I almost cried like a little girl.
I remember
Blew
they had
my
that
mind.
bum fights. They had bum fights, and they were paying the dude like $20 a tooth, and he pulled like 4 of his fucking teeth out.
Yeah, I saw a guy do this one time. No way am I that tough. Stitches every time.
Yeah, absolutely stitches. Ugh. Dental pain is fucking nuts.
Your teeth are too raw nerve endings. No way.
Anyway,
Now, where are the stitches though?
it doesn't matter. Dental pain's the fucking worst, man. I'll let somebody punch me in the face for a whole entire day before.
Being able to deal with his dental pain wasn't like a major turning point in Castaway with Tom Hanks, where he was able to knock the tooth out with the ice skate. Remember that? That was like the major turning point where he became a man on the island. He could take care of his dental pain.
I think
No
I
way.
blacked that out. Like,
That's real pain.
I want nothing to do with any dental pain. I'm an absolute bitch when it comes to that shit. All right, here we go. Would you rather bathe only 4 times a year with no special attention paid to cleaning your rear end?
Well, Kevin does that anyway, so these are good.
This question is not. So, or wipe your behind only once every 2 weeks.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean,
Wait,
So either way, your butt's dirty. Either way, I'd take 2 weeks.
yeah. I mean, I like the shower. I mean, especially
I
with
have
the
to
mask,
shower.
man. I got to shower.
We'll get staph
Right,
infection.
I had staph and die in a heartbeat if I didn't shower.
I feel like this one's obvious because there's a huge gap here. Because, I mean, 4 times a year versus only being able to wipe once every 2
And
weeks.
I can still shower every day.
Yeah.
I'll get it out in the shower. Loophole. Loophole.
Yeah.
Some of them are duds. That's an easy one. All right. Well, this is interesting. All right. Would you rather cut a 1/4 acre of grass with your teeth,
That's a lot.
or lick up a 15-foot by 15-foot rain puddle?
Rain puddle. Teeth.
I mean,
I'm trying to imagine how big.
I mean,
a 1/4
that's-
acre is.
Well, a 1/4 acre is a fucking lot of grass.
I mean, any amount of grass that you have to cut with your teeth.
Well, how many acres is a football field? 2?
I don't know. I feel like between the three of us, somebody
I'm
should
pretty.
know that.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure a football
Probably.
field is 2 acres. So
Yeah,
we can
definitely
use
say.
that as acreage.
So we always struggle on these because there's so many variables that aren't discussed in this little like
right. How deep? How tall is the grass? How deep's the puddle?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I got
So a football field is 1.32 acres. So a 1/4 of an acre is like basically like one. If we could break it down,
So like 120 yard, 10, 20 yards.
the whole thing. That would take forever, bro.
Oh, jeez.
but
But
how
drinking
deep's the
up,
puddle?
licking up.
Here's the thing. So, like cats and dogs and stuff, they're like meant to lap stuff up.
We're not.
We're not.
No, we suck it in. We don't.
Yeah, I got to lick it. I don't know how you
It
can
says
lick a
lick it,
puddle.
yeah. I don't know if that's even possible.
I guess I'll choose the grass.
Yeah, at least that's like
Yeah.
it's.
I can get it done.
measurable.
I can get it done. I can get it done in one day.
Yeah.
It might take me all day. It might take me 2 days, but I can get it done.
Yeah, I think I'm going grass too.
Licking up the rainwater too. It's probably gonna be on concrete or something. Who knows what sort of shit? You probably get more sick.
Licks.
Because I don't have to eat the grass. I just have to trim. I got to swallow the water. I'm taking grass.
You're a mulching mower here. Oh, God. Oh, this one's kind of deep. So, would you rather be in prison for murder with the public thinking you didn't do it, or free with the public thinking you did?
Free. Fuck
Free.
jail. I have done defensive tactics training for Jessup and done a walkthrough. Don't go to jail, guys. Don't go to fucking jail.
That's our lesson for the day.
Yeah.
Don't go to jail and sign the waiver. Yeah, I think, yeah, being out of jail is.
Everyone thinks I did it.
Better.
So what?
I mean, I saw pictures of OJ recently. He had a smile on his face.
He's partying it up.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
OJ was doing okay in jail. He apparently had a gang of men rallying around him, and his name in jail was Papa Juice. And he had this this gay following, and they said he'd come out on the terrace flex, and people like whistling, and he's apparently he was like a god in jail. No one messed with him. He was celebrated. I'm pretty sure it was Papa Juice was his nickname in his jail.
Wow. Learn something new every day. All right, for our last would you rather is would you rather enthusiastically celebrate Thanksgiving on a daily basis? This is oddly topical. We're coming up quick on Thanksgiving.
Excuse me.
Or New Year's Eve on a daily basis.
Ooh.
Thanksgiving.
I mean, I got it.
Single time.
What do you say, Kevin?
The best holiday. Thanksgiving is the greatest holiday of the year. Are you kidding? I'd like Thanksgiving every single time.
I'm going to pick Thanksgiving on a daily basis just because, I mean, I don't really drink that much on Thanksgiving, and my body can handle that. New Year's Eve, I like to get down, bro. Except last New Year's was the most quiet I have. We usually go to Deep Creek for a weekend, and the night it was all our friends, and dude, I couldn't put my body through that. There's no way.
Main bar, right?
Bear, Black Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled in there one time with a bunch of my friends, but they looked at us like we had two heads. It was ridiculous.
New Year's is always a letdown, man. The only decent one I had, I went with my jet team out to New Year's a couple of years ago to Vegas. That was nice, but even that, man, I don't know if I want to do that every single lot.
You would die. I mean, you would die. Wouldn't you die? I mean, if you party like I sometimes have on New Year's every day, you'd be dead. You'd be dead within a year and a half.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I drink a fair amount, and I drink a fair amount, probably pretty regularly. I don't think I could do New Year's partying every day. That's rough.
I couldn't do that every week.
No, even once a week. Think about a New Year's celebration once a week. I mean, that would take you out.
Would not be interesting. No fun.
I could probably do that, but
one year I did
of training.
One year I did a totally sober. I did a 90-day no drink. It was either 90 days or 60 days no alcohol, and it fell on New Year's. It wasn't that bad. I mean,
the beginning of this year, I tried to go a year without drinking. I made it 1 month.
that's still. I mean, it's hard. It is very hard to totally abstain from drinking if it's something that
I'm around it all the time. So
I once went 8 years without drinking, but then I had my first beer in the 4th grade, and it's been downhill ever since.
All right, so normally we do this at the beginning, but I'm going to sneak this in at the end because I forgot. So I usually ask if there is an alcohol that you do not drink anymore and why.
Kevin, why don't you start?
Wild turkey.
When
I was whatever wild turkey, the basic wild turkey. When I was my first job ever, I was gunslinger at a Wild West theme park. It's the greatest job ever. I actually grew up on horse farm. I'm a cowboy. I've got horses and It's a fun job. So we lived in this Wild West theme park. After hours, we got to party in an old Wild West saloon with the Can girls, and it was tons of fun. I was 16 years old, and I don't even know where it came from, but I somehow got a hold of a handle or a fifth of Wild Turkey, and I drank the whole thing. And it was that night, that like horrible, I drank too much. I'm a little kid and couldn't process it, like horribly bad. Never touched the stuff since.
You're not missing anything. Yeah, Wild Turkey is garbage.
Yeah.
So I can't even smell any sort of peach schnapps.
Really?
Because, dude, this is, man. How long until you've committed a crime till they can't? They can't. This is a long time ago. I was in high school.
You're probably good on just about everything.
I'm probably fine. I mean, we train half of the police department in our town anyway. So sorry, guys. I used to
allegedly
do some bad.
So allegedly is one of our favorite words on this show.
So I used to be an idiot when I was younger, and I was hanging out. Allegedly, I was hanging out at my buddy's house. We had no booze. We had some people coming over and stuff like that. So I was like, I know where they got booze. So we went to this old shithole gun club in Carroll County, right? I was like, I know they got shit in there, bro. So we broke in. We didn't break anything, but like we got in there, and we took their fucking keg and we filled up an old mayonnaise jar. Ooh. like the big plastic kinds that they have like in the restaurants. Yeah. We emptied it out. We rinsed it out the best that we could, and then we filled a keg of. They had a beer keg in there. We filled that up because we couldn't get the keg out. We had no idea what we were doing.
Right.
And then there was a bottle of peach schnapps there. So me being the show-off idiot that I was in high school, I was like, I'll chug this whole bottle of peach schnapps. And they were like, do it. So I got about halfway through, and then, no bueno. So then I woke up like in my own puke. Terrible, bro. Terrible. It's one of those times where I was like, I didn't have clothes to change into. I had to go back I still lived at my parents' house. I was like a junior in high school. And to this day, dude, if I smell any sort of peach flavored liquor or anything like that, it instantly brings me back to that time. I have a total aversion to it.
Ugh.
And don't do that, guys. Yeah. Don't be an idiot like I was. In all reality, if I had the brain that I had now and I could plug it back into those situations, good Lord. I mean, I'd be like Nikola Tesla right now. I'd be on a different level. I would have not done any of that dumb shit. I probably would have just stayed in my house, never gone out and partied, and just mastered the internet. That's what I would have done.
Well, that's why I worry about people that don't have some sort of history like that, because then I figure they're probably like serial killers or something, because everybody's done something fucking dumb.
And if you can't admit it, then you're weak. You're not letting other people learn from it. I tell my students all the time, yeah, I'm your instructor, and like I'm supposed to be this like beacon of like reason and stuff like that. But dude, I'm not perfect. I do stupid shit still to this day. I did a lot more of it when I was younger, but you become more responsible. You got to learn from that shit.
Yeah, if only we did learn.
Yeah,
we all do slowly, so that's all that matters. But I think that's about it for us tonight. So we hit that hour mark. I love that I have a new term, 60-second black belt. That's like my favorite thing ever now. And I got to do a Smirnoff Ice for the first time.
And you got to interview a dude whose hands are registered deadly weapons. And you saw his documentation, bro.
That is true. I need to get a screenshot of that shit. I'll put it up on the YouTube page. It's hilarious. But anyway, thank you very much, Mike and Kevin, for joining me. And we'll see Tristan back here next week. Hopefully he's doing all right in his lightless house out in Ohio, sitting there crying because there's nothing to do. We miss you, Tristan. But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in each week. We'll see you next time on the next last call. Cheers. Yeah.